Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is December 17th. It's my dad's birthday. Happy birthday to my dad. And it's Thriving Thursday. We've got a wonderful training today. Let's go ahead and get started. Our quote of the day today is, "Let love be the answer to all life's questions, even the really, really hard ones." Cleo Wade. Couple of dates to take note of if you haven't already, or if you're new to the call. We have our national conference, March 18th through the 20th. 3 days of phenomenal training by our leadership and the one and only Bob Snyder, as well as leaders from around the nation. This is going to be an online training. Our theme is shifting higher into focused transformation. Excited to see you all there. We also have our dates for leadership retreat. We're going to be going to Mexico, August 13th through the 17th. So excited to see you all there. We've got our Founders Live on Mondays at 4 p.m. If you've not been making it a point to be on there, make sure you get that added to your calendar and that you're consistently showing up to the Founders Live. A lot of important announcements there that you don't want to miss out. This Saturday, December 19th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., we have our Super Saturday training, and our featured trainers are Yaz and Umer Haq. These two are absolute rock stars when it comes to the marketing of this business. So you absolutely want to be there. You want to take a lot of notes. Very excited for our Super Saturday training coming up this weekend. A couple of events I wanted to mention. We've got our Thursday Private Capital Masterclass every week at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And then we have our Dream Call, the Daily Real Estate Mastermind. That is happening after this call. So every day, Monday through Friday, we've got our Dream Call where we talk all things real estate investing, bring questions. It's just a mastermind. So watch your classes, do your analysis, any questions that you have regarding any deals that you're working on, bring those to this Dream Call. We have our fabulous Friday morning. So we'll see you tomorrow morning with Lily Puertas from 8 to 9. And we have our Zoom up call. These have been really awesome. Every day, Scott Rowe and Michael Huggins have put together this 15-minute to 20-minute short call where someone gets to share their story. These have been recorded. They're all on YouTube. And Michael Huggins made a sale just by sending a guest the YouTube playlist of these Zoom up calls. And so definitely very valuable. Make sure that you're tuning into the Zoom up calls. And if you're not able to make it live, then check out the recordings on our YouTube channel, Elevate Renatus. OES.com is just a simple website that was put together to talk about what the OES is and why it's important to be a part of that. So if you haven't checked that out yet, go ahead and do so. Last night we had an awesome house tour. It was a little bit different. So typically we're doing fix and flips, but that's what I love about these tours is that they're always a little bit different. So this one is a fix and instead of flipping it, they're fixing it and holding on to it and having it as a short-term rental. So just quickly, we'll go over the numbers. The purchase price was $360,000. They put $35,000 into it to fix it up. It's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, and they are going to be renting it out on short-term rental for $40 a night per bedroom. So that's around $5,000 a month, and that's gross. So that does not count, or that does count all the expenses and everything. And then, compare that to a traditional rental at $1,800 a month. That's amazing. So that just shows the power of short-term rental. So every week here's our list of reoccurring events that we have each and every week. We've got our profits intro every Tuesday at 12:30. Wanda Carrasquillo has been working with that for the last 2 weeks. So make sure you're tuning in every Tuesday for the profits intro. We've got people tuning in from around the world. Every Wednesday, as I just mentioned, we have our house tour. That's at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. It's a virtual house tour. And then alongside that, we also have our AIT bonus track study group offered in Spanish. Thursday, so tonight, we've got all kinds of events you can choose to plug into. We've got our house tour offered in Spanish. We've got everything else on the list will be in English. We've got our Pillars of Wealth intro presentation, our follow-up and funding webinar. We've got our onboarding session for both guests and new students, intended for new students. We've got our essential study group, as well as 3 study groups around real estate investing, multifamily, wholesaling, and short-term rental. So we'll see you tonight at those events. We do record these morning calls. You can find them on our Facebook page. We've got the Renatus Team Elevate private Facebook page, lots of important announcements there and a lot of collaboration. You definitely want to be a part of that Facebook page, as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can find both these trainings as well as the Zoom up calls that I just mentioned a moment ago. All right, so today is Thriving Thursday. We get to spend our morning with Wanda. Wanda spends an hour with us each and every Thursday to share with us what's on her mind around this business and mindset, personal development, which is so crucial to not just this business, but life in general, to have a good grasp of a healthy mindset. So a little bit of Wanda's history. She was born in Puerto Rico and she earned herself 2 master's degrees in education, despite many life challenges at the time. And in her career, she succeeded in many ways, but would only hit the ceiling every time she attempted to reach higher. She spent most of her time trading dollars for hours, and on the side, she was always looking for entrepreneurial opportunities. About 4 years ago is when Wanda found Renatus and has now exceeded her income goals in less time and in less effort through our systems. In her first year alone with Renatus, she earned 8 times more, or excuse me, she earned 6 figures and has continued to do so each year after. So not only is Wanda killing it on the marketing side, she's on the PIT team, which is the PAC and Training President's Advisory Council. She's also killing it on the real estate side. She's got over 20 real estate transactions on her belt and has built a large team of entrepreneurs. Very, very fortunate to get to learn from Wanda this morning. Make sure to take notes. I'm excited for what she's got to share. Good morning, Wanda. How are you?
Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, and good morning, everybody on the line. And thank you so much for putting these calls together. You definitely select the best for me. I was listening to the general speaking, and Bob Snyder is talking about money and money earned, money saved. One cent, 1 cent earned, 1 cent saved. And that was I heard that this week. It's a quote from Warren Buffett, and basically that is the topic of my how you have this relationship with money and all the myths that we have been learning from our parents, from people that allow us to think that money may not be the best thing to have. And we have to start defining those and go over and change our perspective to have a better relationship with money and treat money with dignity, in a sense. And Rich Dad Poor, in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, there are some principles that Robert Kiyosaki outlined, and those are myths that happen with money. And he always comparing like the rich dad and the poor dad and how they look at money differently. And he outlined 8 different lies and why the money relationship and the relationship that you have with money is not necessarily the correct one. And the first is that your parents have taught you that you need a job. I heard that you need a job. So even right now, during this pandemic or whatever, that things didn't go. This year has been challenging. My dad is like, "You probably need to get a job." I'm like, "No, I don't. I don't want to get a job. I'm Everything is gonna be okay. You know, I'm doing a deal. I'm doing my marketing. Everything will go back to normal." And But if you have that mentality, you need a job, and you're gonna start trading dollars for money, hours for money, then you're gonna get stuck into that. I've been kind of paying the contractor and everything who are working in my deal, and it's like, okay, how many hours you were here, and how much you're gonna pay? And it's like $20 an hour for 8 hours. And I'm like, if this is what you want in your life, just continue to trade you time for money. And that is a myth. That's something that your parents have put into your mind, and it needs to change. It needs to change. You can produce the money differently. You don't have to trade it for the time. And that's really important, because last night I have this come to Jesus call, but it's come to Michael's call. and and he got me to go through my screen time app, and we discovered that 3 hours of my day are in Facebook. And I don't want to make excuses or anything, but it's like, what am I doing with my time? So when you trade your time, do you want to trade it for dollars? Do you want to trade it for productive time? What do you want to do with that time? That's what is important. And yeah, we have a come to Jesus conversation kind of. That was interesting. But most of the time when I'm in Facebook, I'm not consuming, I'm kind of learning, because I pick most of this training that I'm giving here, I learn from podcasts that I find in Facebook. So I just want to justify my 3 hours. But then the other myth that is outlined by Robert Kiyosaki is you need to work hard. How many of you have heard that? You need to work hard. And it's like, I was talking to my contractors yesterday too, and I'm like, I feel like I'm working hard, but in reality, it's more mentally, because okay, this money goes here, this money goes there, and who I need to call now to complete the job and things like that. So I can be from home, kind of doing all of that operation and be anywhere, if you will, from Puerto Rico, anywhere, and manage the operation, making sure that everybody is going to go and complete the work. But it doesn't need to be hard, like in terms of physical, but they go and do the physical work, which is really hard, and so on. And it's just how you put together this mentality of the type of work that you do. I remember when I was little, once I told my dad, like, oh, you don't do anything, you just sit at that desk. I remember going to his office and told him that, and he's like, but my job is mental job, because he ran a different operation in a union. So basically that makes me realize, your job doesn't need to be hard. It just needs to be productive. And it's important that we change that mentality. Then number 3 lies that is outlined by Robert Kiyosaki is that debt is bad. When you have something that you owe money to somebody, is bad. And that is not necessarily true, because most of the rich people, they have a lot of debt, and it's because, but those are active and money that is coming, like if they have rentals. Yes, you have, like in this deal that was presented yesterday, you may have a debt from the mortgage, but if your renters are paying for that and you get your cash flow, it's not a bad debt. It's something that is producing you. So getting a debt is sometimes good, as long as it's something that you are going to produce and make you produce something. Like if you buy a new computer for your business, if you buy your cell phone for your business and things like that, those are going to produce you. So those are not bad debt. And number 4, government is going to pay for my retirement. Government will pay for your retirement, your Social Security. Are you kidding me? Do you feel like Social Security, you can live off that? The last time I checked, for the contribution that I have given to my Social Security and so on, probably I'm going to get $2,500 or $3,000 a month. Some people live in that budget, but if you have the lifestyle that you want under that budget, I don't think so. If you want to travel, if you want to do things that may pay for bills, like utilities and phone bills and lights and stuff like that, but will it pay for your retirement and for a lifestyle? It may not even be enough to pay for a retirement home. If you go to a retirement home. So be careful if you're thinking that you're going to live off your Social Security. And I'm hoping that if you all in this line, you are already have changed your mindset and you think, no, this is not what I want. This is what the system have put me into it, but I'm changing it. And I'm doing something different to change that outcome. I'm not going to sit here and wait for until I'm 62 to start collecting Social Security for maybe $3,000 that by then the expenses in life expenses are going to be higher. So it's not going to be worth. All right. And then number 5, the lie that people think is that money is not important. And this is really, really, really important because sometimes you say, oh, it's okay, that's the money, or you don't give the money the importance that they have, then the money will treat you the same way. At the end of this list of 8 items, I'm going to bring another 5 concepts of how you need to treat that money. And it's really, really important because we need to treat money with dignity. And money is evil. How many of you have heard that? Especially, you know, if somebody say, oh, in the Bible, they said, you know, the rich people, and no, money is not evil. Money is a tool. Money is something that will allow you to complete your goals and your aspirations. But as long as you treat it with dignity and as long as you treat it as a tool and the importance that it has, then it will behave the way it needs to. The other one, number 7, is rich people are bad. How many of you have heard that one? Rich people are really bad. And that's not true neither. I don't know if I don't think I have mentioned this story, but here in Utah, Larry Miller, he passed away several years ago, but he is one of the richest guys here in Utah. He owns the Jazz team, he owns the stadium, he owns a lot of car dealers. He really, and now his family owns them, right? But he was like really, 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 really rich. And one day I found him, I was very involved in politics and I needed to create a panel and a debate for the candidate that we're running for the government. And I was in my mind, I need to have some money for my publicity for that people comes to this debate. And I was just going to this other event where one of the candidates was putting his candidacy that day, and I just parked by a Mercedes-Benz. And I saw this guy getting into it with jeans, really casual, and I noticed that was Larry Miller. And I'm like, I'm just going to talk to him. And I went and talked to him. And I said, hey, Larry, I am the chair of the District 3, blah, blah, blah. And I am going to put together this debate for the governors, the candidates for the governor. And I need assistance for the publicity. He gave me his card. I called the office, and like 3 or 5 days later, I have a check of $300 in my house. What I'm trying to tell you with this is that rich people, they are generous. Not everybody are bad. They're generous. It just depending how you approach them, right? So just be careful on how you think about the people who have money. And number 8 is higher education is the solution. I have 2 master's degrees, half of a PhD, and no, it's not the solution. The most money that I made in a year with my degrees was $60,000. $60,000 a year. And when I left all kinds of jobs, in a month, I generated more than I generated a 6-figure income. And I could never, ever imagine that amount because the relationship that I had with money was up to, my temperature was up to $60,000. And I couldn't imagine the 100. I remember when I was making $15,000 a year. in the 90s or in the 80s, making $15,000 a year. And I saw people making 36, and I'm like, oh, if I could make 36, I'd be safe. I'd be okay. Then I started making 36, and I saw people making 50. Oh, if I make 50. And then I start making 45, 50, 60. And it's like, if I can make more, right? Because if it will never be enough unless you raise your temperature. And you raise your temperature and you feel comfortable with money, that money will supply for your necessities, you'll be okay. And the thing is that sometimes we don't treat money the way it needs to be treated. We have to be grateful that that tool is out there and that you deserve it. That's the first thing that you have to start building this relationship with money. I am blessed that money is available for me, and money will come to me in different amounts to satisfy my needs and even more, okay? So you have to be grateful, even if you don't have it, because you have to be grateful expecting that it's coming. Whatever amount is in your mind right now is coming. And you just be grateful at this moment as if you have received it already. And then after that, you need to know where that money is going. It's not like, oh, I need this money because I just want it. No. If you know that the money needs to be placed in different places, that money will come because you already perceive where the money is going. So you be grateful for the money that is already in your hands, whether it's there or not, you just be grateful as it's present with me right now. And I'm going to allocate this money this way. So you have your budget. And from there, you say, I am going to be saving some of this money because I have to invest. So you know that the money, and even that if you use it and it goes out, it comes from one door and goes through the other one, you bless it. You say, oh, it's just blessing. It's blessing everything. And it came and it goes and it's coming back. It comes and it goes and it's coming back. And then you're going to invest the money. And the other thing is be generous. Be generous with what you have. Give to people, especially during these holidays. Think about something to do. I was just planning an activity with my grandkids. I'm like, I'm going to buy some gloves and I'm going to go downtown and find homeless people and I'm going to start giving gloves away. So be generous. You do something, even it doesn't have to be a big amount, but do something that is like thinking about what you can give out. I saw a video from Lily Puertas the other day that she is wanting to give back to the community. And she is requesting people to give them names of family who are in need so she can give back because she feels blessed for all the blessings that she received during this year. And she wants to give back. So when you give back, you receive back. So basically, I have a line in front of you, 8 different lies that you have been programmed to think and to have that relationship with money in ways that are lies. And that came from the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and Robert Kiyosaki align those 8 different factors that allows you to retract you from having the money because you are thinking like his poor dad instead of thinking like his rich dad. And then we outline 5 different things that you can do to really bless that money before it comes to you. You allocate that money into your budget. And even if it comes back around and back around, you receive it and you pay back, you bless that money because it's coming back to you. You're going to save it and you're going to invest and then be generous with what you have. Okay, around this topic, how do you feel? How do you feel about your relationship with money? I want to open up the mic now and keep it in this topic and see the goals that you have versus what you've been receiving, and then the time that you spend to really get what you deserve. And that comes, to that realization. Michael just called me up yesterday. It was texting, but really got me to think, hey, I have 168 hours during the week. And what am I going to do with that? And how much time I'm going to allocate for sleeping, for my care, and for the things that are important. So think about all of that, and then you'll be more productive. And let's open up the mic and have a conversation about this.
Hi, Wanda.
Hey, Gilda.
Sorry, I'm late. I didn't get the first parts, but I
Oh,
got the one where it said, money is evil, and and then on. And I want to emphasize that because, when we're growing up, we were always told, well, money is evil. And I'm like, and money doesn't, fall out from the tree and all that stuff. So we have this negative already growing up, so it's soaking up in our brain. And so when we become adults, it becomes more obviously more reality. So you still have that, so it's up to us to kind of like disregard what we've been hearing all our lives up to now, or before you start changing your mindset. And then we can't conceive, like what you were saying, you were making $60,000 because that's really what you had in your mind, because your mind couldn't really conceive of making over six figure, over 100,000. So you were thinking that, so that's where you were.
yes.
So up until you change your mindset with your relationship with the money, and how you view it, and it's not going to change.
Mm,
Because if you say money is evil and rich, people are evil, well, obviously you have that negativity towards money, and it's never going to come to you because you don't have the
mm,
importance of treating, how money is being, it's a great tool. And I posted one the other day where money makes you more of the person that you already are. So basically, if you are a generous person, if you have more money, you'll be more generous. And so,
yes.
you're giving more, money to people that are in need. I love that what you're doing, giving out some gloves. It's perfect. It's getting cold. So
Yes.
yeah, so that is, so that's really, great. So what I'm doing, like back in back in 2002, and I think I might have mentioned this to you, my husband and I, we built a church, and so we've been supporting that church. So that's that's one of my whys. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just it's giving is really
Thank,
important. And when you feel bad, start giving. When you give, you feel
yes.
great. So
Thank you so much. I really
thank you
appreciate
so
your
much,
comments.
Wanda. This is a great
Let
topic.
me let me go ahead and review these items. And they come from Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and this is like a podcast that he himself outlined 8 different lies that are put into people's mind, and that's how his poor dad grew up thinking of these things that are not beneficial for you to increase in money. And the first one is that you need a job. The second one is
I
work
have that one,
hard.
Wanda. If it's the Rich Dad Poor Dad, yeah.
Yes,
Unless, yeah, if you're just giving it to me, yeah, I have that list. I have that
yeah,
book. Yeah.
yeah. I
Okay.
just, for the benefits of everybody who has
Oh, okay.
come probably a little bit late.
All right.
So
Okay. Great.
you need a job, work hard, because that's number two. You need to work hard. And number three is that debt is bad, Number 4 is government will be paying for your retirement. Number 5 is money is not important. Number 6, money is evil. Number 7, rich people are bad people. And number 8, higher education is the solution. And then after that, then I added that you need to bless money, number 1. You have to have a budget, number 2. You have to save, number 3. You have to invest, number 4. And number 5, be generous. And so those concepts are really, really important in your relationship with money. And if any of these is in your mind, you have to break through those items. How did you get that knowledge? How that was ingrained in your brain that you can change now and reassociate the fact and say, no, higher education is not going to be the solution. Been there, done that, no. I have made more money in these last 3 years than what I had made in almost 35 years of experience on working with my degrees. So that's kind of a very, very impacting, just personally. It's my own experience. So now I can talk to young people and say, do you really want to go to a traditional education? Or do you want to, take a different path and learn even more than a traditional education? So unless you want to become a doctor or lawyers, things like that, other than that, I think that we can learn in non-traditional education the things that will give you more return on investment on your education. So that's kind of my take because I have lived it, and I'm a proven example of that. Anybody else wants to comment?
Yes, it's great thoughts. I take it like this, is that you got to get out of the scarcity mindset and get into the abundance mindset, number 1. And number 2 is that you're correct in the traditional education, but you have to be a lifelong learner, because if you're not a lifelong learner, you're going to be stagnant and you're going to be left behind. So those are kind of my 2 takeaways on this.
Definitely. I want to reiterate that. I think personally, I'm like learning all the time. One of the things that I was talking to Michael is like, I don't want to justify my time in Facebook, but most of the time in there is because I'm watching videos that are learning. Like this one, I saw it in because of the groups that I joined. Those groups gave me videos that are learning experiences, and I'm just constantly putting things in my brain that are allowing me to grow more. One of the things that, because this week I just was searching for my relationship with money, one more thing that it came to me that stuck in my brain is because my daughter is having these issues that she wants to take some courses that will allow her to be like a mentor or coach, life coach. And it's gonna cost her $15,000. So she have found some money, but not all. And in one of these podcasts, I heard this that then I share with her, and it says, okay, instead of you saying, because what you say is so important, instead of you saying, I don't have the money for that, or I can get the money for that, or I don't know how I'm gonna get the money for that, then it's how could I find the money for that? How can I get that? And it's so impressive because she had found part of the money. So I said, why you don't go back to the instructor and you say, hey, I really have a feeling and I have the desire to do this. But up to now, this is the amount that I have. And it's pretty much half. So, okay, say, can I pay you this half and then make payments on the other half? So you buying a solution, and I'm pretty sure he's going to say, okay. Yeah, he's pressing for everybody who's going to get into those trainings to pay at this particular amount. But I'm pretty sure that if somebody presents a case, and it's valid and show the desire, he's going to be okay. So she's like, because her mentality has been always like in scarcity mindset. She has been in the position like, if I don't have this amount of money in the saving account, I'm like, she's freaking out. And now she's getting better. She's much better, but still now the language. And even that coach that she's taking training with, he said, your vibration is down here when you can ask for things now. You can ask for things now and you will receive it now. You just need to ask how I'm going to get it. But if you put a timeline, I'm going to get this in 3 years, or my 5 years plan, or my 30 days plan, you will get it at that time. But if not, if you want something now, you can get it now. You just need to ask the question differently. And if it's about money, is instead of I can get it, is how can I get it? And you just threw the question differently. Thank you so much, guys. This is awesome. And yes, being in education constantly and learning constantly is the key. Is the key for you to succeed. And changing your personality, like Bob Snyder always said, is when you raise and you become the person that you want to become, when you attract all that people the same, and you get to that point, and then the money will stay with you. Any other comment, any other conversation that you want to have?
Wanda, good morning. Andres, Miami, Florida.
Hola,
good morning, everybody.
Hello.
Doing great.
Hi.
Hey, so yeah, I wanted to touch base on the Robert Kiyosaki book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, about, it's not can I afford it? How can I afford it? So it's the way of thinking. And I've been here in the community for a short time, and when I saw the velocity banking class, it got me thinking about increasing cash flow. And so my mind started thinking of increasing cash flow, and I'm increasing cash flow because I'm constantly thinking about increasing my cash flow. So yeah, it's a mindset. It's just you receive what you're putting out there. So if you're constantly thinking of that, then your mind is on that. So very, very powerful, the mind.
Definitely. Whatever you think and what you say, that is what it comes to fruition. And it's important. I watch my language all the time, and I have one of my ICMs. I'm always on her back. I'm like, I hope you don't get offended. But I always repeat, like, she's like, oh, I'm so depressed, or I'm so this or that. And I'm like, no, you're having a challenge. And she's like, okay, yes, I have to. So all the time, I'm trying to rephrase what she said, because I want her to start being more conscious about the way she expresses herself. And it's the same thing, and it's a learning process. What you think and what you say is what is going to come to fruition. So be careful in you choosing the language, choosing the things that you are saying. Like when my daughter said, oh, I can get my training, then you won't get it. But how can you get it? I will find ways for me to really get it. And how can you present a plan? Like I was just listening to Eric Count's video on funding. And when it comes to give, like if you want to propose to pay for your education, you want to propose to a family or friend or something to lend you the money, you don't just say, like Michael Hogan said, okay, Jenaline, give me $20,000. I need $20,000. She said, oh, I need $20,000 too. But when he went and present a plan, then people buy into it. Like my daughter needs that, then she can go and present a plan. I'm pretty sure she will get it. And when I talked to her about that, she's like, huh, yes, I can do that. And she's applying for the HELOC and stuff like that. And I'm like, why is not happening now? It's not happening now because you haven't done the steps. So everything has a process. So you go and get it. You go sit down with the girl, you take nice chocolates, it's Christmas time, you take something nice to the girl and at the bank. And even if they have 10 files to work with, they will pass yours to do first. It's just how you present it, how you perceive things, and the way that you want it. Yes, a process may be 4 weeks, but if you present this differently, hey, I was working with a different bank and now I switched to do business with you because your terms are better. How can I facilitate this to really compensate for that time that I wasted at the other bank? And bring some chocolate to the girl, hey, she can help. And things can be faster, but it's all how you present things to the world and how you perceive and present things to yourself. Good points, guys. Any other comments, anything else that comes to this topic? Or if you want to bring something in the marketing side and a success, we just finished the year, all the orders that came in the system until the 15th, those are the ones that are getting paid for counting for this year. So if you finish your year strong, but we need to start 2021 even stronger. And that's pretty much, it's really, really good how we can contribute and to help others, especially during this time of the year in the holidays. Any other comments?
Well, I wanna, if I'm not sure if anybody, just jump in. I'm just making comments here. Well, in case people are looking to give back out, and I think the soup kitchen is really a great place to go because there's a lot of people that are homeless that go there. So if you just, if you want to bring something and just distribute it, you don't have to walk like for miles or to find all those homeless people because they're there. So
Yeah.
just to, give you an idea.
Yeah, and see, this is the time of the year too that because we're finishing the year and you have to think about the taxes and you probably want to give some so you don't be taxed and so on. It's like Nate Lambert, he just purchased what, like 10 or 15 rentals because otherwise he would be taxed really, really high for all the money that he made this year. So he went and purchased all these rentals before the end of the year, so he gets the tax advantage. So all of those things you need to start looking into your business if you have to start giving to charity before the end of the year and stuff like that.
One thing I'll add is consistency. Whatever you decide to do, be consistent with it. And don't beat yourself up if you fail a couple times. But I have a plan that I look at every day, and sometimes I follow the plan, sometimes I don't. But the idea is that when you're reprogramming your mind to look at things differently, you have to put it in a plan, and then you have to look at it being consistent. And a lot of this is reprogramming to be an entrepreneur. A lot of these different ideas, they are different, but it is basically reprogramming. And how do you get to that reprogramming is having a consistent effort leading to an outcome. So that is something that all these are great ideas. Even giving back. Some people look at certain parts of the year, but that should be an ongoing, consistent effort throughout the year. Because sometimes most people don't realize that, for example, food pantries, they have a hard time during the summer months, not necessarily during the holiday season, but during the summer months as well. So just a kind of food for thought in, trying to keep a holistic approach with everything.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's really, really true. If you're not consistent with your plan, the plan is not going to work. So it has to be consistency. And it's part of what Michael was putting out there for me last night. You have 168 hours in the week. What are we doing with those hours? How are we planning our hours? And how are we outlining our days to not only be on a plan, but to live it? He's Romy, you have to live it. Is, consistency. If I get up, I'll do this, and that. It's not like you're a robot, but you have these routines to do. And now that we're coming to the new year and we start doing the goals and so on for 2021, it's good to start thinking about what are the habits that I have and I didn't do, or the habits that I need to start implementing, and be consistent with that. Not like starting habits that then by February, March, you are done with it. Like when people start registering at the gym, but by March, in January, the gym are full, and by March, it's empty again. It's consistency. Keep going, keep going. And the only way that you will get to the end of the line is by stay in the run. You don't quit. Remember that people who quit never win, and the people who win never quit. So you have to stay in the run. It's consistency and moving forward, moving forward. Yes, you're gonna fall down, but you get up and keep going. You know, scratch your knees, you keep going, keep going. Don't stop, because if you quit, you're not gonna get it. And success doesn't come overnight. Most of you have heard my story. Oh yes, Wanda started marketing and did in 8 months. I was six-figure income, but that took me a long time, if you think about it, because I didn't start in marketing, doing marketing that, when I started Renatus. I started doing marketing in the 90s, and I attempted again and again and again and again, different companies, different things, until I found Renatus. And it has been the best vehicle. It's far beyond the compensation plan, is the best in the industry. Compare with anybody. Just put it side by side with anybody in the industry of marketing. And this is the best. I don't think there are companies over there that give you 50%, 45, 50% of their profits, on the services that you sell, and you earn between 45 to 50% of what you just sold. There's not out there. So if we have the best, we just need to do it consistently and moving forward. Okay,
I know
let's
something,
see if,
Wanda.
yes, go ahead.
Um, it's I think a really big part of being consistent is having a definite chief aim, having a definite
Yes,
definitiveness of purpose, and that's really something that I've been noticing. It helps so much to have that definite chief aim, because then you're more inspired to clear up your own contradictions around how money helps you reach your definite chief aim. And then as we're out contacting other people, you inevitably run up against other people who might have great ideas, but their contradictions are in the way, and they will they will try their best to sidetrack you. And if you don't have that definite purpose, that's gonna help you steadfast in clearing up your contradictions. It will be easy to get sidetracked by other people and their contradictions. So that definite chief aim, that definitiveness of purpose, I believe, is what anchors in all of this, what we're talking about.
Totally. Thank you so much for those comments. And if you have your goals, if you have your target, actually one of my coaches says, don't say the word goal, because goals sometimes you just don't, but if you have a target, I'm targeting there, like I'm shooting, and I'm just focused right there, then that target will be your focus. And if you think about that, it's going to be aiming and shooting and doing it. And that's perfectly fine and aligned with everything that we have said. be consistent, and then be focused in what you are targeting, and create that routine in your mind, your mindset, and watch what you said, watch what you put into your brain, and deliver constantly with generosity, with knowing that gratitude and generosity are two aspects that will take you to the next level. You be grateful for everything you have, even the blood that runs out, in your bloodstream, even the cells, even everything that is part of your body. If you are grateful for all of that and all the abundance that we have in our life, you deserve to be living in abundance, and you deserve it now. You just can claim it. Just claim it, and it comes. Thank you, everybody, for your participation. Kelly, is there any question or anything on the chat? Let's see.
There was just one question.
Awesome. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Is there a link to someone telling the compensation plan that I can send out? So that's not something I have. Does anyone have a link to the compensation plan they can share in the chat, please?
I do. Let me see if I can find it really quickly.
And Ryan's video is excellent, by the way. The compensation plan.
Ryan Black has one?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Let me see if I could get it. Let me see if I could find it
I
here.
have one.
If and when you find it, can you share it to the private Facebook page? And Connie, you can grab it from the Facebook page, because we're about to end.
I just posted the link that Michael sent me, and it's the compensation plan.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much, Sandra. Okay.
You have it?
Yep, I just copied it, so I'll share it to the chat of this training on Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Which is this one you're sharing, guys?
This is a compensation plan.
Okay.
Video.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. I gotta go to my team.
Everybody be good. Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye,
Thank you so
guys.
much. This is awesome, Wanda. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow morning, or tonight, actually. Take care.
Bye.